this game here is against Colorado. This is I'm sorry, is against Oregon. This is Colorado's first really tough test. Now they were 28-point underdogs to TCU in that first game, and they won outright. First week, we didn't know anything about Colorado. Didn't really know much about TCU. They lost a lot. This game's a little different. Number 19, this 3:30 game, ABC. Number 19, Colorado, 3-0. At number 10, Oregon, also 3-0.
You?
The line is 21 points currently, and the total is 71.
It opened at like 16 and a half?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the total opened at, but that is a extremely high total. So the big question is this where Deion takes his first L? I've found it funny that this whole Dan Lanning press conference, a lot of people are confused by this clip that's gone like semi-viral.
No, they're not. And if they are, they're doing it at their own fucking peril. Like they just don't care to look up when it actually came because they want to be outraged by something. I'm so fucking over it.
Yeah, Dan Lanning over the summer in July had a press conference when Colorado left the Big 12 or the Pac-12 and went to the Big 12. Dan Lanning came out and basically said, look, I don't know what Colorado's really done for the conference. And now it's being played like he said it on Monday in his press conference ahead of this game. So, interesting.
Which, I mean, like, Deion could also, like, talk himself into believing that it happened on Monday.
Yeah.
I will say, you know what? Let's give credit real quick, because this is something we talked about the other day, and it really pissed me off, and we addressed it on the pod and all that kind of stuff. But, like, the Travis Hunter thing, the hit. I'm not going to get into this because it's not a big enough deal to care about. But I didn't think the hit was that egregious. I just didn't. I thought it was a bad late hit, and like it should have resulted in that kid getting put on his ass, like from like probably an offensive lineman, another player, or whatever. And he like maybe ejected from the game. The outburst from people about how he should lose his scholarship and blah, like that is all ridiculous.
He should die.
That right there is something I would say almost should never be your takeaway in a college football game. I mean, almost never. Almost always never. You know what I'm saying? Never.
Yeah.
So
I don't think there's anything that can be done on a football field. Sans like, I don't know if you saw the movie The Last Boy Scout where the dude pulls out a gun on the field and shoots one of the players. It's like a movie from the 90s.
Yeah, I've heard of The Last Boy Scout, but also, I mean, like, I was a Cub Scout. That never happened.
Yeah, so outside of that, I don't think anyone should ever be threatened their life for something that happens on a football field. And I think most of us
Boy Scout and pulled out a gun. Do you mean gun? Or is that
it wasn't a Boy Scout. It was a football player. Is it The Last Boy Scout? I may have the total wrong name.
Yeah, this is a weird. Yeah, it's a weird movie.
Anyway, there was a movie that started on a football field where the guy gets tackled and he pulls a gun out and shoots the other guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, for this game, so we do want to give credit to Deion for coming out and basically being like, look, the kid is a good kid. He's working hard. He's honor roll student, whatever. I thought that was good by Deion. That being said, Travis Hunter is out 3 weeks after that hit, and he will not play in this game, which when you have a two-way player that is the most special player on your roster, that affects you on both sides of the ball, obviously, which is tough. Oregon under Dan Lanning, 4-0 against the spread at home as a 17-plus point favorite. I like that trend. Shedeur Sanders is a lot better than I thought he would be at this level.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about Colorado, though. They do have a really good running back. They got that 4-star kid, Edwards. He's been really good in the pass game, but Colorado hasn't been able to run the ball this year. Also, Colorado's defense is not very good. In fact, they're bad.
They're very bad.
And when your best player is out against a quarterback like Bo Nix, who would have ever thought we'd be saying that? But it's true. Bo Nix is one of the best quarterbacks in the country over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Oregon can really run the ball. I think their strategy in this game is let's just keep Shedeur Sanders off the field.
Yeah.
So Colorado can't stop the run. Oregon can run the ball really well. I think Oregon tries to play game control, keep the ball in their hands, keep Sanders off the field. And I think Travis Hunter being out on the defensive side of the ball also hurts them. probably more than him being out on the offensive side of the ball. I think long term, he's probably a better receiver at the next level, but
yeah.
I don't like betting against Deion, so I probably wouldn't bet against this game like personally.
Yeah.
But I'll take Oregon to cover for the purposes of the pick show, and I'll go Oregon 45, Colorado 20, and Oregon covers.
I looked at this and I tried to figure out a way to get like some sort of clue on as to where there might be some value in a bet. The line is 21.5. The first half line is 13.5. The first quarter line is 6.5. Out of those three, the 6.5 in the first quarter makes the most sense to me with Oregon. I think they come out on fire. I think, like, here's the thing too. Like Oregon, I mean, Colorado is gonna probably put up some points. I think Shadir Sanders has been really, really good. But you do have your best overall player on both sides of the ball, including Shadir Sanders, not playing this game. And you got to go on the road. This is not going to be TCU. It's not that kind of environment. And TCU, let's not forget, made horrible tackling adjustments the entire game, and that's not something a Dan Lanning team is going to do.
And that was still a close game. That came down to the wire.
Right. Dan Lanning, they beat Portland State to open the season 81-7. And I know you're thinking to yourself, Chris, why the fuck are you talking about Portland State? Please don't get into your ex stuff again. And I'm not going to. But Portland State put up like 63 points in the first half last week. They scored 90 points through 3 quarters to whatever team they were playing a week ago. I understand that's not FBS football and all that kind of stuff, but think about what I just said. They obviously can score points. Oregon held them to 7 points. I think this is a blowout. I will say, I don't think this is a vengeful blowout where you're going to have somebody that's going to come in and try to prove a point to Deion because they're tired of hearing about Deion. But I do think that they are going to come out there and like they're going to play really good football. And one thing that they have shown, like with Bo Nix, that they do that Bo Nix didn't do in the past, and that Shadir Sanders hasn't really done, especially last game, is not turn the football over. They play really, really good, sound, fundamental football. I would take Oregon to win. I would not take the 21.5, but I would take the 13.5 and probably the 6.5, just because I think it's going to take a while for Colorado to adjust with what they have on offense. Interesting side note here, even with Travis Hunter out, Cormani McLean they said this week, the all-world 5-star cornerback, he is limiting himself from seeing the field from his own mistakes. Those are the words of Deion. I've got Oregon to win. I will say 44-30. I'm sorry, 44 to 24.
Okay. 44-24. So a cover for Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's do LSU and Arkansas real quick.
The other thing that Oregon's going to know is, hey, all eyes are going to be on this game. I get they're playing at the same time as Ole Miss, Bama, which will take away from some of that. But Colorado's clearly must-see television right now, and Oregon's going to want to prove themselves on that stage.
Yeah.